All right, so you can reject these, and I've got a backup pick, or you could tell me I can't do what I'm going to do because I'm going to blatantly cheat here. There's two teams that I think very much see themselves as contenders. I see them as exactly the same level of team, and I personally don't think either one's a contender, but I think that's where they are. That's Golden State and the Lakers.
Yeah, all right.
And I just kind of smashed them together. You can tell me I can't pick them both as this combo deal. That's fine. I won't. I'll move on.
You know what?
For me,
I make the rules here, and I'm green lighting it. So
right,
I love it. And you know what? It never, from what I understand in sports media, it doesn't ever hurt to talk about the Warriors and Lakers.
Oh,
so
100%. Sure, yeah. and they certainly both love when we basically say they're the same, right? Like, people love that. But the reality is, like, aging superstar-driven teams that if everything falls right, sure, they could win the title. But everything has to fall right. And that's the problem. They are wildly expensive, mostly driven because of their top-end talent. I'm not even going to complain about what those guys are paid because they're all paid what is fair. But what's happened is that's made building the rest of the roster tough. You saw with the Lakers, LeBron came out and was like, hey, I'll take less. I'll even take a lot less. And they still couldn't get it done. Now, Lakers fans, because Trevor is my co-host over on Front Office Show, he's the Lakers guy. We get a lot of them. They're like, well, that's because Rob Pelinka stinks at his job and he's terrible. Maybe, but maybe guys are like, yeah, team's just not good enough. Like, I don't want to go there, for whatever reason that may be. I mean, as we're ready here to tip off the season, less than a month away, they lost Spencer Dinwiddie and Taurean Prince and replaced them with Dalton Connect and Bronny James. That's it. That is the sum total of roster changes for the Lakers outside of a couple two-way guys. That's not good enough. Like, they weren't good enough last year. They're not going to be good enough this year. I mean, Dalton Connect would have to be the far and away rookie of the year player for them to take that kind of leap. And then with the Warriors, Curry's great, still playing really, really well, but no longer is so great that he can just kind of carry everything all on his own. I liked the Warriors offseason. I thought letting Klay Thompson and Chris Paul go, shedding the money, turning in effect those guys into Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson, DeAnthony Melton was really good work. I think they're going to be better as far as they're better equipped if people miss time. I think they're a deeper team than they were in prior years. They still don't really have anything resembling a center. So that means probably going to be Draymond Green. Jonathan Kuminga is obviously not happy because he wants to be paid and they haven't paid him yet. And it just feels like we're just kind of trying to squeeze what we can out of the last years of Steph and let's get it done. And this is all ready to crumble and it's going to happen sooner rather than later. So these two teams seem very similar to me. And that's why I kind of just packed them in there. And I threw them kind of in the middle because it's like, I don't even really think they're contenders. Right. But everybody else seems to, so I might as well put them on the list.
I'm totally here for it. I think the Lakers are on the bubble of this list, like the fringe of this list. They were in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. They were not well coached last year. I don't know if JJ Redick is going to be a good coach. Nobody really knows unless you ask JJ Redick, and then he's absolutely certain. But he could be. And if he is, that's like you're talking about things that had to break right. That's maybe the most major thing that has to break right is that JJ Redick can sort of tap into something here and get the Lakers to play. And then obviously you get another healthy season of LeBron and Anthony Davis. They were healthy last year. The role players play up to snuff a little bit better than they did last year. And then who knows? Maybe they're a run away from making another Western Conference Finals. And once you're in the conference finals, you're a contender. I'm a little bit lower on the Warriors, but I do think they're in a 3-year window right now based on Steph's extension. He basically just gave him 3 years. He said, you know what, let's just figure it out. They're clearly a move away. It feels like they have to trade Kuminga at some point to try to go all in on somebody. Reportedly, we're not willing to do that for Larry Markkinen, weren't willing to do it for Paul George. Whatever, we could, we don't have to debate that, but would they be willing to do it for somebody else down the line? Who knows? But it does feel like that's a team that understands that they're also a move away. I'm with you. I like their offseason because it gave them some of that flexibility, whether it was with the cap or just the roster. They've got like big, chunky, tradable contracts. Like there's a move to be had for the Golden State Warriors if it sort of reveals itself, if it materializes. So I have no problem with either of these teams really being on the list, although I'm with you. They're probably on the fringe of the list if they're on the list at all. But, I think they're definitely worth talking about because we could look up and be like, whoa, LeBron just had another vintage playoff run. Oh my God, what just happened? Inspired by his Olympic gold medal run or whatever it was. Boom. I don't know. I was watching the Olympics. I'm like, Are we sure LeBron's still not the best player in the NBA?
Yep.
It was crazy. So I'm not going to rule anything out for either of those guys. So that was your combo cheating pick, which, hats off. You did a good job there, kind of circumventing the rules.